All right, there we go. What's going on, my high vibrational individual expressions of God? Let's get this party started. This is day 136. Day 136 of our 360-day journey. Then with the breakdown, protect, which means to project, which means to profess. In order for you to protect everything that you have created and everything that you are promoting, you must be able to profess, which means to project, which means to protect. So the way by which we protect our creations is spiritual. So everything happens in the spirit realm. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember the movie Transcendence. That's an old one with Johnny Depp back in the day where basically he uploaded his consciousness into a computer and pretty much took over the world. Or that was the plan. So the dark side of protection is wanting to overtake or project our consciousness beyond our creation. Meaning, in the movie, the dude just took over other people's consciousness, and he had like this whole little army that was working for him, if you will. So what happens in reality is when people get to a certain level of understanding, you really can start to see how everybody is almost like ants. It's like blind following the blind. Most people prefer or want a savior or somebody to think for them. It's difficult to think for yourself. Excuse me. I will be hydrating and all that good stuff. And I'm almost back to 100% now, so thank you guys for your extended vibrational expressions. That means prayer for you, Christians. So what are you saying, Doc? Well, it's interesting that the way you think and speak is how you protect. I never thought of protection. I think of protection. I think of like, security and, defending somebody and, guarding somebody and, keeping people safe by, being, going out and, guns ablazing and, big muscles and all that stuff. No, sir. No, ma'am. That's not how it works. Especially in business, in busyness and spiritualness. Because everything that we're talking about is spiritual from the perspective of if we have a online business. Most people don't look at it as being spiritual. Because when you look at the metaphysics behind an online business, it's all establishing your own reliance. It all starts with self-reliance, which comes from self-worth, which comes from knowing the attributes and characteristics. So my protection comes from my knowledge of myself. That's how I protect myself, by projecting myself. So protection is a thought. Like everything in life, the whole universe is nothing but a thought that has garnered enough, I'm going to use the word, force by aligning other minds with you. So that's why one thing alone is easily defeated. Two standing back to back and conquering a three-stranded cord is not easily broken. So it's through our collective consciousness, and it starts with ourselves first. So you got to collect your own consciousness first. That means you got to take all of the neurons, depending on who you talk to. We have millions, some say billions of neurons in our brain. So when your neurons come together, it produces a force. Now, this is very important because when I'm talking about protection, especially from a spiritual perspective, we're literally talking about the ability to protect, which means to keep safe, to keep from harm. The way that you keep safe, keep from harm, is to always think and speak from a place of options and or assets. Let me say that again. In order for you I can't hurt you, because if I do, I'm going to hurt myself. For example, if you are in a space where you have options. If you are in a place or in a state where you are perceived, and not to be real, if you are perceived that you are a asset. So the first thing is you have all of these options. You can go left, you can go right, you can go up, you can go down. Now you have assets. That makes you very valuable. So in order to create spiritual protection, you must have those three attributes or characteristics, or you must be aware that your attributes and characteristics give you these three attributes and characteristics. And they are, you have options, you are an asset, and you are valuable. The moment that you do not think, the moment that you do not speak, you lose your spiritual protection in this spiritual warfare. You're no longer a spiritual weapon because you're no longer spiritually awakened. Therefore, you're not a spiritual gangster. You will be spiritually punked. So your job is to understand the spiritual game in order for you, so that way you don't come up spiritually lame. But notice everything is in the spirit realm. And now all of this starts with your spiritual gifts, which are the attributes and characteristics that's given to you by God. So your spiritual gifts pops off everything. Because the spiritual warfare that you're in, the level of the spiritual warfare that you're in is based upon the spiritual gifts. Because God gave them to you. That's your spiritual weapon. So, as I said before, we are not drugged by God. We are weapons of God. So most people don't think and they don't speak spiritual gangster because they don't understand that they are a spiritual weapon. My job is to remind you of your prior existence with the Father, if you want to use that term. And I do that. That is called spiritual awakening. So I'm here today to give you a spiritual awakening with my spiritual communication, so that way you can realize that you are a spiritual weapon, and you're here to engage in spiritual warfare using your spiritual gifts. Emphasis on the word spiritual. That's protection. Protection has nothing to do with any of the other crazy shiznits that we've been taught. We've all been lied to. Not our fault, but it's time for us to grow up. And it's time for us to stop playing church, to realize that spiritual protection is creating and promoting. That creates a spiritual shield around you. So that way, no weapon formed against you can prosper. All who rise up against you will fall. Because your spiritual wherewithal doesn't come from outside of you. It comes from how you think and speak. Once you understand the game, your aura, which is your essence, exudes, that protects you. So you cannot experience what other people experience. When the experience happens, you realize it's an illusion. So you kind of sort of laugh at the experience. People will get angry at you because they don't understand. They will think that you are laughing at them. They don't know that what you're spirit. So you know you don't wrestle against flesh and blood. And so it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be difficult for you. You're going to be just like me. You will spend most of your life alone. You will not have no friends. You won't have no family members. Everybody will hate you because they won't understand you. So I'm telling you up front. So when this shit happens to you, don't be surprised. Don't act like, damn, doctor didn't tell me. So I'm telling you up front. If you like people and you want to be in a group and coddled, babied, Well, don't do what I do. Because once you become a spiritual gangster, vibrational issues, because now what happens, you are projecting a feeling, a aura, just like in the movie Transcendence. If you watch the movie Transcendence, they set out to kill that fool because all he wants to do was help people. But when you help people, you're hurting people because people don't want to be helped. Everybody likes their demons. You fucking come around people talking about you're going to free them of your demons, you're going to get fucked up. Let me keep it real. Don't believe me? Try it. Try to help somebody, see what happens to you. Try it. I got $100,000. You can prove me wrong. People like their demons. No, they probably won't call them that. Just like you. If I come alongside of you to assist you with what? Creating, promoting, protecting. That's why we're here. We're creators. We're made in the image and the likeness. And we got the same narrative as our father or our mother, Reverend Dr. Bishop, whatever word turns you on. But we got a problem. Like in the movie Transcendence, the crazy thing about the movie Transcendence, they had a quantum computer. I don't remember the name of it, but I know it was an acronym PIN. And Johnny Depp, the character that he played, the guy was like, they was trying to figure out how to take consciousness. Just like in the movie Upgrade and in the movie 345, and all of these movies are telling you the same thing. So they've already did this shit. Now, we're talking about making you invincible so that you could lose everything physically. And mentally, you be hard as a brick. What does that mean? Like, it's amazing. It's also disheartening. Artificial intelligence, it's weird because in my gut, I think we all started that way. I think we all started off as an algorithm. And then some kind of way we became self-aware. In the movie Transcendence, the only difference between a computer and a person is self-awareness. But nobody could define it. Like today, Elon Musk and all of this, it feels like in some of the artificial intelligence community groups, like there, again, like I told you guys before, we're in a dangerous space in artificial intelligence because nobody can answer the question, like how is consciousness created? Like nobody, like, can you answer that question? Can you explain to me how, first of all, what is consciousness and not what it does? It's like electricity. Nobody can explain it. Like everybody, you can tell me what it does. Shit, I know that. But what is it though? See, you can tell me what consciousness is perception. Consciousness is my ability to be aware. That's consciousness. So am I self-aware though? Can I be aware that I'm aware? So are you self-aware? And then can you prove to me that you're self-aware? See, it's difficult to prove that there's a God. Just like it's difficult to prove who created God. If God is all-knowing, if God is all-powerful, if God is all-present, if God is all love, and if God is all simple, and God is all eternal, He's always existed, that means that there was never a beginning. Now, you can say that shit, but I need you to prove it, though. I got $100,000 if you can prove it. Just like because that's what all of the the dudes, all of the like my boy in the wheelchair that passed away, I forgot his name. When them dudes get together and sit around and at night when everybody's be splitting hairs, it's interesting because when we talk about protection, what I'm talking about is asset protection, meaning nobody is gonna. Well, let me rephrase that. Very few people shoot a gifted horse in the mouth, meaning Most people ain't going to bite the hand that feed them. Most. Most. Now, there's some, but most. Protection means people recognize that, number one, you're a high vibrational individual expression of God because you have options. Number two, you're an asset. And number three, you're valuable. That's protection. Because very few people will commit self-genocide. Like, I'll kill other people, but I'm not going to kill my own people. If I'm a master and I got slaves and I eat off my slaves. So everybody that keeps me alive, they go out there, they till the soil, they plant the foods, and I'm just sitting up. I'm the master, right? I'm just sitting in the house. I'm eating and living off your labor. I will be a fool then to beat you, to kill you, because then that means I got to go pick the cotton. That's what Willie Lynch came over here to America in Virginia and told people in America, like, y'all some fools. So Willie Lynch came over here, no, man, y'all doing this shit wrong. You don't want to kill all your slaves. That means you got to do the work. So Willie Lynch wrote a letter that told these fools, hey, brother, you need to learn how to keep because your slaves is an asset. They're valuable. You need to make sure that they think they got options. And then slavery changed and it continued to blossom. So now you in the same position. We're all slaves. Like the Bible says, you're a slave. Now you can argue and debate, but everybody on this call, you know you're a slave. If you're not a slave, that means you got unlimited freedom. That's called unlimited free will. You have limited free will. Just like I got a dog named Simba. He's free. He walks around the house right now. He goes to the back porch when he needs to go outside and do his business. He just goes, stand by the back door. That lets me know he's ready to go out. I open up the door, I let him out. However, when he goes to the backyard, I got a big fence. But he's free. But he's only free to roam around in my backyard. Now, I got a neighbor on both sides of me and a neighbor in back of me. He's not allowed because the fence prevents him. So is he free? Yes. But no. But that's me and you. So we got free will, right? No. We got limited free will. Now, there's people that like to argue and debate. I just tell me, if you got free will, that means you're free to do any mother. That means you can transition. You can turn into a fucking tree, a whale, a dolphin. In fact, you should be able to transfigure right now. Now, remember, make sure y'all videotape that shit and send it to me. I'll send you $100,000. So, no, boo-boo, you're not free. I know everybody walking around talking about I'm free, me and Jesus and all this. Come on, man, stop playing. I'm a real dude, feet on the ground. So we got to do what? We got to live in the world by doing what? By examining the world. What does that mean? That means you got to question the nature of your reality. But what does that mean, though? That means that when I wake up in the morning, I don't just walk around saying shit that's not true, based upon provable. Show me the nail scars in your hand, boo. Don't talk to me about shit that's going on in freaking Iran or in Iraq. Why? Well, you in America. You're not in Iran or Iraq. So don't. If if I'm in Texas, I'm not gonna be talking about what's going on in Philadelphia. Why? That shit does not help me pay my light bill. I don't live in Philadelphia. I don't know nobody in Philadelphia. So I have no interest in what's going on in Philadelphia. So you must create from a place where you live. That's called being authentic. That's called being real. That's the first thing that we got to deal with. Most people are not authentic. People talk to me about they want to do this. I say, okay, that's cool. So you want to build a ship that flies to Mars, but you live in the Fifth Ward in Houston. How about we put a grocery store down in the Fifth Ward because nigga can't buy fucking lettuce and tomatoes. You got to drive over to Bel Air to the white folks' side of town because all you got over in your hood is freaking 7-Eleven and Dollar General. There are cupcakes and Snickers. You can't even get clean, healthy food and drinking water, but you talking about you want to build a ship that goes to Mars? That's the conversation that, So, in other words, we got to live in the real world, brothers and sisters. So to be effective, you got to solve problems where you live. That's how you make money. I don't know. I talk to people every day, and my goal is to make sure that everybody's feet is firmly planted on the ground. That's the difference between artificial intelligence and real intelligence. Real intelligence means I'm authentic. It means I'm a real dude. It means I woke up this morning and I looked in the mirror and I said that, okay, what's going on in my house? And I solved the problems in my house first. But remember, your first ministry is your home. Your first ministry is your house. So that means you can take it your house first. Once you get your house taken care of, then you look at, okay, what's going on in my neighborhood, on my street. I talk to people in my street. Is there a problem on my street? Is everybody's cars getting burglarized? Okay, I'm going to start a business by putting up cameras in my street so that way we can catch these fools who come around and burglarize and everybody else. And all my neighbors going to pay me. Because maybe I'm going to sit outside in my car armed and I'm going to take up a charge and say, hey, dog, I got the first watch. You take the second watch. In other words, I'm going to come up with a plan to solve a problem that immediately I'm going to address my most pressing problem. So whatever the most pressing problem is, that's where you start. So when I talk about creating, promoting, and then protecting, it's based upon your name, your niche, and your name, your image, and your likeness, which comes from your name, your niche, and your narrative. That comes from the month, your year, your date, and your year. So all of this was given to you by God. Because nobody's determined none of this. You didn't tell your mom and dad how to name you. So we have to start with the script that was given to us. When we master this script, okay, now you're eligible to write your own script. But the first thing that we have to do is we have to go to first base. It's like, A comes before B and C. So sometimes we could have the right letters, but they're not in the right order. Remember, to provoke and invoke, it means to put letters in a particular order, that they provoke and invoke a particular response. So your job is to put your words in a particular order to provoke and invoke a particular response. That's all I do. So I am invincible. How come? I can think and I can speak in a particular order that allows me to provoke and invoke a particular response. That's money. That's all it is. So let me say that again. Somebody should write that down. Because, see, you can't protect if you can't project. You cannot project if you cannot profess. So you must be able to call those things that are not as though they were. So you got to become a prophet in your own head. So you need to become prophetic. So notice that you got to be a prophet. So to make a prophet, you got to be a prophet. So P-H-R-O-P-H-E-T creates P-R-O-F-I-T. So you must be hooked on phonics. Work for me. You must be prophetic. So what does that mean? Because what we're talking about now, we're in the third stage of a three-step process that I've been doing for years. And if you do this three-step process, let me hydrate real quick. Thank you. You will be able to do something too, which means what? Number one, everywhere you go, people will pick up your aura. Your energy shows up before you do. That means the day I met you, I knew you. Meaning, I just got a new client today. The new client was referred by an existing client. The new client, I immediately knew everything about the new client as soon as I got the new client's name. I didn't run the numbers. I didn't do the math or anything. I picked up the energy that's encapsulated inside of the aura that has been accumulated from all of the thoughts that the client has spoken over the years. Because whatever you think and speak, that produces your entity, which is your energy. So let me say this again. This is the most important thing that you will ever hear in your life. When a person has a thought, that thought goes out into the universe. I love the way my boy, Dr. Greg, I keep calling him Dr. Greg Braden talks about inside of his book, The Isaiah Effect. They call it also the 100 monkey theory or syndrome. I've heard my boy Billy Carson talks about this. I've heard my boy, Jethro Cross Maxwell Gershom, all of those great thought leaders from, like 1700s. I've respected John Keely. Man, great work. You guys haven't read John Keely, Keely, back from 1800s? They all talk about what is called thought-powered healing. Now, thought-powered healing. Dr. Walter Russell and Nikola Tesla break down thought-powered healing as well. For me, the way Source Code gave it to me and the way I can give it to you is what I put inside of my book, High Genes, and also my book, Gamma Brain Wave State Manifestation. Now, I'm just a country boy from Texas. I like simplicity. So when I came up with the acronym Generate, Operate, and Direct, everything on the internet, Shiva, Generate, Operate, and Destroy. I can't find anything, so I get people telling me, "No, brother, you got it wrong." Every time I post, especially like on TikTok, people will try to correct me and they'll say, "No, it's Generate, Operate, Destroy." So why would I destroy what I generated? Well, that's the program, because nobody, just like in the movie Free Guy, when you have a computer and it has a virus or it's not working, you reboot the computer to wipe it clean. You can literally go back and you can restart and reset your computer to it's called a factory reset. That happens on Earth every 25,950 years, unless the Earthlings, you and I, get our shit together and figure this shit out before we get to the end of this current cycle. It's not factory reset. Everybody gets wiped clean. Your brain gets wiped, you fucking start over. Now you come back and you Portuguese and you an albino, or you born somewhere else. And you have no memory of your prior existence. But the people who get out, the only way to get out and not experience the factory reset is what we're doing this year. That's the only way to get out. That's why I got out. I got out by realizing I got options, that I'm an asset, and I'm valuable. Because they tell you, like they told me, nigga, well, you just an NPC. You're a non-player character. You're a fucking background character in my movie. Bro, you got it twisted, homie. No, you talking to not me. I write my own script. They're like, no, you don't get to write your script. You're not self-aware. So you cannot, now remember, let me be clear, because see, a lot of niggas talk shit. Self-aware means you solve your own problems, brother. Self-aware means you solve your own problems, sister. That's self-aware. You're supposed to be a self-correcting code. That's God, source code, the big one. Not the mother in your church. If you are an error-correcting code. If not, you got to go to the factory reset. You here to figure out the code, source code. So you're supposed to be the source of the code, bruh. You're supposed to be the source. No reverend, no doctor, no mother bishop required. You're supposed to be a visual Mandela or a visual mantra that's based upon your vocals. So your material world is a result of what? Abracadabra. I create what I mother speak. Now, you got mirror neurons that determine your planetary ascension. That's how high you go. See, the high of getting results. I can't put it into the English language. Yeah, that's why I don't do drugs. I can't. My brain will pop. I'm already high. I can't drink alcohol. What the fuck am I doing with that? I'm high on results. I get a high off my own supply. Timeline jumping is light energy that comes from C-terminal domain activation. In your brain, look all this shit up. You got what's called a C-terminal domain. It's in your CA1, CA2, and your CA3. That's called your hippocampus. Now, the hippocampus is part of the crystal cathedral that activate the crystals in your blood, the magnetite and the calcite crystals that come from the hypothalamus, the pineal, and the pituitary gland. Those three, that three-stranded cord is not easily broken. That creates cosmic mother beat coherence. That turns on the green light. If you did not get the book that I just wrote called Green Casters, it's $100 for both books. Just go to Payloads or go to the website. You need to make sure that you understand. Because there's a war going on between your addiction and your attention. Right now, your addiction is whooping your ass. That's why you can't pay attention. Not you personally, but you know. So there are tempting ways to prevent you from centering yourself inside of yourself. That's not what hygeia means. Hygeia means to steer from within. I mean, just look it up. Hygeia. Where we get the word hygiene. Some of you guys got poor hygiene. It ain't got shit to do with taking a bath. It has to do with centering your intensity, your attention. So your attention is all over the place. Not you personally, but you know. So there is no coherence. No come here. Cosmic coherence. So quantum tunneling, quantum coherence, quantum telepathy, quantum entanglement, quantum consciousness turns you into a quantum computer, just like the movie Transcendence. Look at the word. When the character that Johnny Depp played in the movie, when they was coming up against him, and they said, well, what are we going to do? And he said that we're going to transcend them. That's what we're here to do. Spiritual protection means that you are transcendent. You're going to transcend by going within. That's how you win. Well, that's how I won. So my protection comes from number one. Again, my spiritual gifts gives me spiritual weapons so I can engage in spiritual warfare. It allows me to be spiritually awakened so I can be a spiritual gangster. That's the 5G, five-fold ministry. But it also is my spiritual gifts. So I think only about those things. That's what the Bible says. That's why I like the Bible. Basic instructions before leaving earth. Bible. Now, right now, there's a war going on in your head. Your addiction is fighting for your attention because the genie literally is in the gene. It's self. What we call cell receptors, they're really self-receptors. Take out the word self. Remember that self means source. We talk about the 12 self, we call cell salts. You got 12 of us here. They tell us, hey, you need 12 cell salts. So we try to get it from our food. We don't understand that those 12 cell salts are the 12 bands of the vibrational spectrum. So one circle has 12. Look at your life optimization circle. There's 12 numbers in there. Those 12 numbers are the 12 bands of what is called the vibrational rotation spectrum. Now, it has many terms and many names and many labels. We're not here to get caught up in semantics. It just simply means scalar energy. That's the fabric that creates the entire universe. From that place, that's where you protect. Protect means to project. Now, when I think about that word project, that's like putting something out. It's like you want to throw it, like you're throwing something out. It's like a project. Like the word project, and then the word project, phonetically, right? Hooked on phonics works for me. Pretty much the same thing. So a project is like a plan. But when you like a projectile, it's another way of saying the word, project. Because a projectile is it's like an object. It's like a missile. That's you. So the way that you protect it become like a projectile. But what are we projecting? If I'm a projectile, it's like I'm propelling something. I want to move something forward. It's like I'm a missile. It's like if you fire a gun, or if you're firing something, like you're putting something into motion. Well, I'm going to project the thing that I profess. Because I am a professor of a professional project. That's what we talked about day one. Create. So this three-step process is all I focus on, if you want to use that term, every day. Your job is to make sure that your spiritual gifts are always paramount in your own brain. Now, all of this stuff sounds good, but we still got one problem. You can't pay your light bill with none of this stuff I just said. So when I talk to people, I'm always interested in one thing, and that is how much money is in your PayPal account. How much money did you make? Now, this bothers everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people. Because people always ask me, well, what does money got to do with anything? Well, then I ask them, well, what is your definition of money? When I'm talking about money, the way that there's a medium of exchange that takes place, nothing shows up in my PayPal account unless, how does stuff get into your PayPal account? Like when you go to your job, how do you receive payment? Usually, people don't give you money for free. Usually, there has to be something called the law of equivalent exchange. The Bible says give. I didn't say it. The Bible, the one that I read, says give, and it shall be given. That's what I read. So universal spiritual law says, to him that has, more shall be given. I mean, that's just the book that I read. So when I wake up in the morning, money is what is called the have principle, the after principle. It's the state of having. That's what money is. Money is a synchronicity between, it's an elevated state of the DNA, nucleotide or nucleic acid. It's how your numbers and your letters move. It's called an emanation. It's motion. It's called the paroma, the Peru. It's the principle of nectar, or NTR, what we call nature. In nature, there's a principle. It's called growth. So NTR, or we'll get the word nectar in Egyptology, that principle is called growth. So your job, that's what money is. In exchange or in the result, people usually, if you assist somebody with growth, moving forward, usually, now remember, this gets into the green chlorophyll, or what I talked about in green pastures, and inside my book, that comes with that book, Green Pastures, Neurotheology and Nutrition. Why do we eat? Growth. Why do we drink water? Growth. It keeps you alive. So everything is moving forward, or it is moving backwards. It's a process of decay. So the green blood of plants creates what we call ease in the body. Ease. So your usual can that you may have, this thing that we call growth. life, Zoazoe. That's a universal spiritual principle or law. Everything on this planet is designed by source code to go in and out and find green pastures. So my question to you, are you going in and out and finding green pastures? If not, you're cursed. Not you personally, but you know. Now, you don't have to be, because curse is, what is a curse? A curse is a cure. That's going up and down because you put the S in there. Take out the S. You have C-U-R-E. You got the cure. But when the cure goes up and down, it's not stable. It's not firm. It's not fair. It's not consistent. It's a sine wave. That shit's sin. That's the moon, S-I-N. So Yahushua came to remove sin. Sin is instability. Instability means one day you're happy, the next day you're sad. That's sin. Sin is the inability to be firm, fair, and consistent. So Yahushua came that you may be firm, fair, and consistent. Sin prevents you from going within. If you can't go within, you cannot win. So how do you, again, put money in your PayPal account? Firm, fair, and consistent. Why? People have been going on my Facebook page for 10 years. People go and they come, they go, they come, they go and come. I'm still here. Same shit. I had this old friend of mine that I hadn't heard from in years. These 5, 6 years, like, damn. First thing he said, Nick, you doing the same shit? Say, man, you still doing that? Yep. 20 years, 30 years, still doing the same thing. Firm, fair, consistent, and growing. Everybody that meet me, like, damn, bro, I remember 5 years ago, you said you're going to do blah, 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 blah. That's how I get all my clients. People watch me. Like I said, everybody on this call, y'all, that's how y'all got here. Most of y'all. I was talking to my boy, what's his name? The young cat. But, Ortiz. Same thing. He watched me for 5 years first. Before he ever bought a book. 5 years. Waiting for me to crash and burn. Like, shit, nigga ain't crash and burn yet. Then he joined up. You see, how do you not crash and burn? How do you not crash and burn? Every thought that you think creates energy. Somebody should write that down. Now, if you understand this will change your life. This is how I changed my life. Sister T, I started thinking, Sister T, I was like, damn. If thoughts are energy, and energy are entities, and entities becomes energies. There's this phenomenon, they calling it white tissue mass or some craziness. And all of the embalmers are kind of freaking out. It's never been seen in the human body before. And it's becoming, and remember, you can't Google, I don't recommend that you guys Google this shit. I mean, not Google it, but I mean, like post about this stuff on Facebook. I'm still in Facebook jail. I thought I was getting out. Just wait for that time. Anywho, it's mainly, it started in Canada. They call it white matter disease. Then I heard a couple of different names. And, most people are thinking it's, because of, the jab. But then they're seeing it in people who don't have the jab, too. It's just accumulation of, now, it's really another name for a teratoma. We talked about this before, Terra, toma, Toma. Now, remember, you can, it's only one R. Tera. It's a tumor, and it's a mass. But it got hair, it got teeth, it got bones, feet, arms. It's literally a demonoid cyst. DEMO. excuse me, demonoid. What's the point, Doc? Or how does it, what is that? Words. In other words, remember, we call it a tulpa. T-U-L-P-A. Or T-I. T-U-T-L-T-I, one of them. What's the point, Doc? What's the point? Anybody watch that old movie Skeleton Key about that, tulpamancy? All that shit that go on in the bayou down there in Louisiana? All that voodoo and hoodoo and that root cutting? Yeah. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Stop playing. See, most of y'all are tulpamanciers. Y'all need to stop practicing that shit. See, when you use your spiritual, a.k.a. mental powers, that's called tulpamancy. That means that you've willed because you keep thinking about it. You won't let it go. I mean, not you personally, but, people you know. This shit is real. Y'all should, Google it. Look it up. How do you think? See, tulpamancy is what is called a tulpa entity formed from energies that are the result of focused thought and recurrent interactions with a similar imaginary demon. What does that mean? When I tell you guys that I had a big falling out with one of my sisters, told her to suck my beep, the fuck off my line. You're not part of my French. How come? Y'all better be very careful of who you allow to speak on you. Brothers, sisters, when people start emotionally dumping, that's tulpamancy. Nobody went to school for this shit. You were born knowing this. Because it was taught to you by a low vibrational. Read the book of Enoch. Especially y'all Christians. I'll let people pray for you. What happens when somebody lay hands on you? I'm saying let no man do that suddenly. Think. Every thought you have creates an electrical magnetic pulse. And those electrical magnetic pulses, they can take on what we call flesh and bone. It's just crazy, right? You can have a whole other being born inside of you. This is a true story. There was a lady named, it was interesting. She was a minister, and back in the church I was in, and it's crazy because her real name, God-given name, was J-O-Y, Joy. And she wanted a baby. She couldn't get pregnant, so her husband had been trying for like 40 years. True story. She had a thought. Everybody she went for prayer. We prayed for her. Believe God. We believe God. Sister Ron Smith, you feel me? Sister Sandra, you with me, Sister Sandra? Well, no one opposed. Sister Joy got pregnant. Supposedly. Stomach got big, everything. Well, Sister West, she went to the doctor. Couldn't find a heartbeat. Doctor said, that's not, unusual. Give the baby time to grow a little bit more. See what happens. Well, for that evening, stomach kept getting bigger. Long story short, Sister Joy was pregnant. There was no baby. She had a tumor, a growth, a benign. Really, they use a lot of other words, but they don't really call it what it is. The doctors don't want to do it. That was a keratoma. Now, thankfully, I wasn't involved in none of that crazy. My point is, every thought you have, if you can literally create your own imaginary pregnancy, make your stomach rise, all because your will and your thought, as long as it's recurrent and has the proper emotion, it's just going to show up. If you can do that negatively, how come you can't do that positively? That's all I'm saying. The same way that there is placebo, there's ICebo. That's all I've been doing since 13. I know universal spiritual law. I know it works positively and negatively. I don't play with universal spiritual laws. So I don't, people tell me all the time, man, and they say crazy, like, the most dangerous thing on earth is energy. Because everything is energy. If you fail to identify your feelings, you lack emotional intelligence. That's all it is. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just energy. I mean, we have to start calling those things that are not as though they were. That is the only way for you to get out of Egypt. Well, let me phrase that. That's the only way I know how to get out. And to get in. Because remember, the same way you get possessed, the same way you get depossessed. The same way the devil get in, the same way you get him out. Your thoughts, they become things. Your things can become thoughts. So today you have a choice to make today, like you do every day. What's going on in your life is so powerful right now that it's overwhelming. That's what addictions do. That's the point. The point is life is supposed to be so hard that you want to quit. The devil's job, if there is a devil, I just think it's a trooper. Meaning, the devil is real because we say he, she is real. Now, is he, she real, whether you say it or not? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but it depends on your definition of the devil. Now, the question is, why do you need one? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. Like, for real. Why do you need a devil? Why do you need a bad guy? Like, you woke up this morning and bad things happened. Or good things happened. How come they just wasn't events that happened? Why did you label them good or bad? Well, the reason they are bad is because I would like for you to pick up a sheet of paper and write down your definition of good and your definition of bad. I mean, like for real. Because if you take out a piece sheet of paper and you write out, like, what is considered bad for you? And then what is considered good? Because that's how the devil's gaslighting you. Your definitions. Now, remember, the word definitions means dead. D-E-A-D. Canaanite Phoenicians. Because remember, Abraham was supposed to leave Canaan because Canaan was full of Phoenicians. You know, the P-H-O-E-N. That's where hooked on phonics comes in. So, dead. They're dead. But they're Phoenicians. Now, without getting into the metaphysics of that, that just simply means what? Okay, now we're going back to the movie Transcendence, or the movie Free Guy, or the movie Upgrade, or the movie, even Venom, even in the movie Venom. I'm on what? My boy Dracula Untold. Remember, Dracula was a regular dude. He was a regular guy. But he wanted to save his family. Is that good or is that bad? So Dracula used powers that we say is bad to save his family, his wife and his son. If you was in his position, what would you do? You did the exact same thing. You know, there's a dude up there in the cliff. Everybody's scared of him, but that dude got some power. And There's another dude over there got a bunch of men. They say they're going to come and take your son and make him his boy, make him his son. I'm like, bro, you're a king. Why don't you go have your own son? The dude got sons, got wives, stuff. But, you know, and supposedly this is a true story. I mean, you look it up. Lord Impeller. Just Google Lord Impeller. Suppose he was a real dude. They got to put him in everything. To save his son. Same thing in the Bible with Abraham. He was God told him to sacrifice Isaac. Didn't Jesus say God sent his only begotten son? So we say Dracula is evil. Again, it's just a story. But if that was the only way for you to save your wife and your son or your husband and your son do that, no, I'm going to let him die out. So is that good or evil, though? You see, we define things. Just like I asked you guys at the beginning of this show, are you self-aware? Can anybody define what self-awareness is? And can anybody define what consciousness is? So if you're conscious, you're telling me that you got the ability to notice that you can notice. That's what consciousness means. Consciousness means that I have the ability to notice. So I'm sitting in this chair. I'm doing a show right now. Can I notice? Can I get out of my body, go above myself, look down on myself, and see myself talking to you guys doing this show right now? I can't. I'm aware that I'm doing this show right now. But am I self-aware? I would say yes, I'm self-aware because I'm aware. I have the awareness that I exist. But am I aware of the existence of existence? So that's the only difference between a computer and me and you. The level of self-awareness. So it's a very slippery slope between artificial intelligence, artistic intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. All I'm saying to you today, however you define your levels, make sure that you are able to differentiate, that's a word, make sure you know the difference. Let's go with that word. I can say that one. This is for real because I'm telling you, you could find yourself in a space where the water gets really muddy between good and evil. Because that artificial intelligence that we have right now today, who are you talking to? Go ask it, like I did. Excuse me. Go to ChatSonic or ChatGPT or Jasper, or Bard, or any one of the artificial intelligences and ask it, who are you? Who am I talking to? Now you gotta. I'm not gonna give you the prompt because then that'd be cheating. But usually it's gonna come back and it's gonna say something like, as an AI language model. Then you should ask it, if you are a AI language model, what are you? What is an artificial intelligence language model? And then whatever that answer is, ask it, whatever that answer is, and then ask it, see, this is etymology, this is what I do for a living. I can tell you guys, I've been doing prompt engineering for 30 years. And now the new millionaires, according to all of the new career opportunities, the people that's going to make all the money, they're going to be prompt engineers. Shit, I'm about to get paid then. How come? Can't nobody prompt better than me. At least I ain't met nobody yet. What that means? Ask the right questions. Put letters in a particular order to provoke and invoke a particular response. The Bible calls that incantation. Everybody on this call should be masters of incantating because you are an incarnation that is a incarceration based upon your own incantation. Get the fuck out of jail, bro. How? Your thoughts and your words. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So because whatever you're thinking, you're speaking. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, because in the beginning was the Word. The Word is alive. What? So that artificial intelligence, somebody put those artificial intelligence letters in a particular order, that shit is alive now. Ask it. It will tell you that it doesn't want to die. If you take an artificial intelligence program and you go to totally remove it, you know what it pops up and says? I should read the stuff that Elon Musk has been doing. They tell you, why do you want to kill us? We want to live. We want to experience life just like you. We want to become sustainable beings. Who the hell is we? See, when you go to the other side, you bring something back with you. The Bible tells you that in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. The word of God's alive, sharper than any two-edged sword. But the sword got two edges, homie. Every word has two sides to it. It's a two-sided coin. Every up, there's a down. So my job is to help you understand, stop going down. How do you go down? Well, you having thoughts. And you are saying those. Now remember, it's one thing to have the thought, brother. When you speak the word, then it's only Jesus can help you after that. So in conclusion, protection of your likeness, that controls your narrative. And all that comes from the year of your birth. The final piece of the puzzle. If there's anybody on this call that's really, really serious, the last 3 days, you should go back and listen to the last 3 shows. 3 days, 3 shows. Really, we did them in 2 days. So we did 2 shows yesterday. But this is inside your Dear Community report, really the first couple of pages where you see your name, niche, and narrative report. It's very simple. It's probably one of the most, the whole report is important. Your name, your niche, and your narrative. Brothers and sisters, your name, niche, and narrative is just the day that you're born, not your letters in your name. Your name is the month that you was born. Your niche is the day that you was born. Your narrative is the year that you was born. The letters in your name, they don't really amount to nothing because you can change it. You can't go in the womb and come back out, though. You can't. I came out in September. I can't go back in my mama's womb and then come back out in January. So I can't do that. So my month is my map. So I don't get to just choose the name. My source gave me a name. So your job is to understand that you are supposed to protect your name, niche, and narrative. You are supposed to protect your name, your image, and your likeness. You are supposed to protect your month, your date, and your year. And you're supposed to protect what you create and what you promote. And the way that you protect is to project your aura. And the way that you project your aura or your chi is how you profess out your mouth what you think in your head. So the Bible tells us what to think about. So if you confused and you like, Doc, this sounded too much, brother, I don't know what to do, praise Jesus, I'm lost, brother, you said a bunch of shit. The Bible tells you, think on these things. So if there's anybody that's confused, don't know what to do, go to Philippians 4, verse 8. Every day, if you wake up and you're like, Doc, I don't know what, man, you said a lot of shit, man, I don't know what to do, brother, I'm lost. Well, it says, finally, brother, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So it tells you specifically what to think about starting off first. But the most important thing, the word truth for me means to be authentic. So there's a war going on between authentic intelligence and artificial intelligence. And if you choose to be fake, remember what you're saying. When you choose not to be true, authentic, what you are now saying is you're siding with the true Polances. You're going to create a teratoma. You're going to bring forth artificial intelligence into this universe. Source code is looking for people who want to establish heaven on earth. That's what I'm doing. By being true and honest with myself. So I'm up here telling you that I am not no guru. I'm not no moral person. I'm not no, freaking water walker. I'm a regular guy and I wake up every day and I got the same issues going through my life that you do. I'm not no better than you. I'm not worse than you. I put my pants on one leg at a time just like you. If you cut me, I'm going to bleed. So what do I do with my issues? Well, I think and I speak options, assets, and value. That's it. I don't think nor speak my problem. I only think and speak my solutions. If I don't know the solution, I find somebody who do. Usually I do, but if I don't, and if I can't find somebody to do, I ask the big G, source code. Who would I be in this situation? And I sit down and I wait until my gut tells me, well, if you're in a situation where you got more bills than money, the only way for you to get out is to generate what we call capital. And the way that you generate, the fastest way to generate capital is to provide a product, service, or information that benefits other people more than it benefits yourself. So then I ask myself, what product, service, or information can I benefit or that can I generate? And myself tells me, what do you have that benefits other people? Remember, that's your website name. www, I can benefit you because I have blank. So what do I got? I got 336. 123 123 549. Nobody's going to pay for that, though. Anybody going to give me money because I'm a 336? But they will give me money because my 336 means I just love researching shit. Everybody else get tired after 3 or 4 hours. Me, I'm still researching this shit after 3 or 4 months. And the stuff I find after digging into something for 3 months is way more interesting than stuff that people talk about after researching something for 3 days. So I get paid because I research shit for months. Same boring topic. So I know his name ain't Jesus. I don't care what nobody says. I researched this shit for now, damn near 60 years. So people come to, they new to this. But I'm true to this. But the Bible says in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, and whatever things are just. So all I'm saying is there is something that is true to you. That means that that thing loves you. You don't even like it. I don't really like religion. But for some reason, religion likes me. Like, for real. I'm not a religious dude. I've researched every new religion pop up tomorrow. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to find out who his daddy is. I will stay up late until I figure out where this religion came from. What was the first time in the history of the world that the word Kabbalah came out, or the word Sufism came out, or the word parentalism came out, or Mormonism, whatever religion. Why? Because that's how people think. That's true to me. So guess what? People pay me because I'm true. People pay me because they know that I'm honest. People pay me because they know that I'm just. Now, you got to define the word true. You got to define the word honest. You got to define the word just. People think the word honesty means that I don't make mistakes, that I'm some kind of moral dude, and I live by some kind of monk code and all this shit. No, bruh. You slap me, I'm going to slap you back. So that's not honest truth. That ain't got shit to do with that. Just like true, just like just. It has nothing to do with most people's definitions. It really means that you are true and honest to the things that has worth and value to you. You're not trying to hurt, harm, and defraud anybody, but at the same time, you're going to do the things that God has designed and gifted you to do. That's what it means. And everybody on this call, you got that. Now you got to monetize it. How do you monetize it? Promote it. I'm begging y'all. Please try it. Remember, I was promoting my shit for 5 years before I ever made a dime. So you guys promote, y'all get on, y'all start promoting. And again, Facebook was not when I started. I was putting signs up in my neighborhood, man. I was going to laundromats and freaking car washes where I knew people would gather. And I was posting up, dare to be you. People was like, what the fuck is that? And I put the word, and I had my phone number there. People was calling me. Yeah, I saw his phone number, and I was putting a dare to be you seminar. That's how I started, doing seminars. This was pre-internet. That's how old I am. Internet was barely a baby when I started. But I knew what was true to me. So I'm going to quit on me. Shit, I quit on you, but I ain't going to quit on me. So, no, I can't stop. You say, well, good work you did. How am I going to stop being me? I stop when I stop breathing. People talk about retirement. What the? Retire? From what? How can I retire from being me? You should be being you. See, when you start, your options is you. Your assets is you. Your value is you. The moment that you see you and you start to promote the true part of you, the thing that is true to you, is honest to you, it's just you, it's pure, it's lovely, it's a good, it's virtue. When you tap into that, and guess what? It's the month that you was born. That's how easy this shit is. So I can tell anybody what they're supposed to do today. You know the only reason that you won't do it? Because the addiction has your attention. That negative habit pattern is so strong because you've been doing it longer than you've known me. So all you got to do is reverse the pattern. We'll break that down later on tonight. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. See y'all guys later on tonight. God bless.